Team Canada is getting ready for another showdown against the United States at the Four Nations face-off. They'll go head-to-head again tomorrow night in Boston, but this will be the championship game. The Americans beat Canada 3-1 on Saturday in Montreal. Remember those 3 fights in the first 9 seconds? President Donald Trump has been invited to tomorrow's game. Team USA's coach was asked how the political situation off the ice is affecting the players.
I'm not sure the political environment has anything to do with what's going on the ice. I think there's a certain pride that both Canada and the United States have for representing their country, and what this means to all the players. You know, my observation of watching this tournament with all the 4 nations is that these players care an awful lot, and they have a lot of pride for the jersey that they're putting over their heads.
All right, I'm looking forward to this chat with Rachel Doerrie. She knows a lot about sports and a lot about this game coming up. A sports writer and chief technical officer of Betalytics, an online sports analytics platform. Okay, Rachel, Canada meeting the United States, winner take all in one game tomorrow. Honestly, a month ago, I barely heard anyone among my hockey fan friends talking about this tournament. And now, Rachel, it seems like the hockey world is all in.
It was the perfect storm, Ian. Honestly, when you think about the situation here, the Super Bowl is done. Baseball spring training is just getting underway, so you don't have that season to worry about. College basketball, March Madness hasn't started yet. And the NBA was on its all-star break, and there's a lot of critics about the NBA all-star game right now. So it's the perfect storm for the NHL to really put best-on-best talent, the first time in well over a decade that we've really seen best of the best in this generation. We've never seen Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, Nathan MacKinnon on the same team. Same for Austin Matthews, Jack Eichel, and Quinn Hughes. And so it's really an opportunity for the NHL to showcase the game. And the tournament's been a smashing success from that standpoint. It's really opened the eyes of new potential fans to the game of hockey. And I think when you look at it from that perspective, you can't be anything but pleased if you're the NHL.
Yeah, and so often the NHL wants nothing to do with politics, but kind of politics have been shoved into these games. At least a lot of people seem to feel this way. Last time U.S. and Canada played on Saturday, fans booed the U.S. anthem in Montreal. There were those 3 fights in the first 9 seconds of the game. Talk to us about the political tensions ahead of this matchup.
Yeah, they're undeniable at this point, and I think we probably wouldn't be in this situation. In fact, I'm sure we wouldn't be in this situation had things happened a little differently last November, but that's not the reality. And right now, booing the anthem on Canadian soil is about the most peaceful way that Canadians as a collective voice can voice their displeasure with some of the things that the new U.S. administration is doing, be it the tariffs, the 51st state rhetoric, whatever the case may be. It is the most polite way that they can voice their displeasure. And so hockey, yes, the NHL doesn't like politics. They don't like pride jerseys. They don't like Black History Month, sort of any type of specialty jersey or any type of outwardly political stance being taken by teams or players. They tend to shy away from. So this is definitely waters that they're probably not thrilled to be in. But the reality of the situation is they're in these waters. Sports are inherently political, no matter what people like to say about them. You think about 1936 at the Olympics as the best example of that. And so when you look at what's coming up on Thursday, it's on American soil, so naturally it'll be an American-heavy crowd. I don't think the booing for the American anthem will certainly be as heavy, but I do expect the Canadians in attendance will probably make their voices heard.
And look, hockey fans of my generation will remember when the Soviets were the evil empire and Canada, wanted to beat them not only on the ice, but kind of ideologically as well. In '72, Phil Esposito said on the ice, "This is war against the Soviets." So, this politics has been part of hockey for a long time. We've got maybe about a minute left, Rachel. For people who don't follow hockey very closely, let's talk hockey for a moment. And what should they know about who's going to be on the ice? And really notably, who's not going to be on the ice tomorrow?
Yeah, so it's really interesting. On Saturday night, Cale Makar, Canada's best defenseman, wasn't on the ice. Quinn Hughes has missed the tournament for the Americans. It's a shame that is the case. We are expecting to see Austin Matthews and the Tkachuk brothers, who were notably really good in Saturday's matchup. We are expecting to see Cale Makar. We will not see Charlie McAvoy. But most importantly, I think for Canadian fans, all of Sidney Crosby, Nathan MacKinnon, and Connor McDavid will be on the ice. And those are Canada's most important players. They've been their best players throughout this tournament. And so I think when you look at it, it's going to be a very, very exciting matchup. It should be a close game.
Yeah, love hearing the excitement in your voice, Rachel. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Rachel Doerrie, sports writer and chief technical officer of Betalytics, an online sports analytics platform. All right, Sarah and Dan Burritt is with us as well here from CBC Vancouver. Let's talk a little bit of hockey. Dan, I was mentioning to Rachel that 2 weeks ago, my hockey fan friends, they didn't really care. What is it, 4-country cup tournament, whatever it was?
Yeah, right.
Now suddenly people love it. What about you?
Well, as you can see, I'm in my finest garment outside of my Canadian tuxedo, and this is where, as you said, this has gotten very interesting. 2 weeks ago, and we have hockey-obsessed fans here at CBC Vancouver, they wouldn't have been able to tell you what the Four Nations hockey, whatever it was. Now there's a sense of pride, of belonging. You see some of the fans in the bars, particularly after that relatively decisive but narrow at the end win over Finland, and then it's back to the Americans, and it's got shades of 2010. Yes, this is from 2010.
Right?
We were all there. We all covered the 2010 Olympics, and feeling that sense of harmony. But there's something different this time because of that outside influence of the politics. I think fair to say that this feels a bit different for a lot of fans.
Yeah, the captain for Team Canada in 2010 was Sidney Crosby. He is still the captain for them now. Someday, another show, we can talk about where we were for that gold medal game back in Vancouver back in 2010. You, Sarah, are the perfect barometer of normal people, because Dan and I are normal people.
I'll bring the normal to this conversation.
And how do normal people, no, but as somebody who's not a hockey fan, how have you felt about this tournament?
I mean, so because last week you said, hey, what do you know about this? And I said, I have no idea. Is this tennis? Like, I really had not even a clue that this was even hockey. And I think, like so many Canadians who have really jumped on, I don't want to call it the bandwagon, but maybe that is the term, but I'm on board for sure. And, I'll just say the numbers, so the NHL has put out rating numbers for the Canada-US game, and I'm seeing 10.1 million viewers in US and Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's a combined of all of the broadcasters who were carrying that game.
That would be 9.5 million in Canada and 500,000.
Right, yeah, no. But yeah, huge numbers that they're seeing, and like a massive increase in viewership since 2016, the World Cup of Hockey, US v Canada. So that's my stats, and clearly I don't just know that off the top of my head. But my excitement, we have some streeters of people who have been, after the games talking about it, and let's just play that and take a listen.
I would have loved a blowout. I would have loved 12-0 win, but I'll take the 5-3, so I'm happy.
Made it a little more stressful than I thought it was going to be at the end there, but put it together. Good empty net from Crosby, love that.
McDavid's an awesome captain. All four lines are rolling. Brad Marchand, he's due for a big game.
Yeah, it'll be a tight game for sure, but it's Canada. Like, we have to win. We have to win.
That's after the Saturday game against Finland, when we learned that Canada was going to go straight through to Thursday. So there's the excitement that it's going to be Canada.
Yeah, so the game against Finland, I guess Monday was the day.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
Monday.
That's all right. And speaking of that game against Finland, you heard Rachel talk about this is best on best, that Crosby, MacKinnon, McDavid playing together. It's been a thing of beauty. Here are a couple of highlights from that Monday-Finland game.
And here's McDavid with a steal. Unable to get the shot away. Cut off there. Turns back. Scores! Connor McDavid with the opening goal for the second straight game.
Just a little bit stubborn, a little bit looking for the extra pass and make a play instead of getting it through.
There's a chance coming through again. Scores! Nathan MacKinnon, the 1-2 punch.
Okay, Dan, you were a little distracted there because we were working on your microphone.
My bad.
No, that's okay. But just some of the hockey here, especially MacKinnon and McDavid, for me has been beautiful to watch. What about for you?
Well, and we were talking about this earlier, seeing the young players, seeing MacKinnon doing his thing, but also seeing Sidney Crosby with the empty netter against Finland on Monday to sort of seal the deal. And we've heard from some of those younger players who said, what's it like having Sidney Crosby on the ice? And they said the veteran presence, the calmness, knowing exactly where to go and what to do has been such a calming presence. And hopefully we'll see that on Thursday against the United States. But that, you see that it's a generational shift, right? 2010, he was on the slightly younger end, and now he's the grand old man hoping to lead them to, can we call it gold?
I hope they're going to win.
One of the things about this show is we can kind of peel away the outer layer of a program and be honest with you. This is what the newsroom looks like. And also, I love the fact that Sarah made reference to a conversation we had in our rehearsal last week.
Yes.
But it's true. I did ask you if you knew anything about the game, and at
And
that
I think
point,
I did say
you
it
were
was that
just
tennis.
trying to find out. All right, thank you very much for the chat. And also, part of this program is having a conversation with those of you who are watching. We'd love to hear from you ahead of that final game. How are you feeling about the on-ice tension against the U.S.? Has this face-off sparked your inner patriot? Share your thoughts by emailing Hano Tonight. Again, not my idea, the name of this. Hano Tonight at CBC.ca. This is CBC News Network.